aspirations of landing our dream jobs after graduation. For 21-year-old Vanderbilt University student Kyle Craig, his dream job was to work on Wall Street. With an impressive 3.8 GPA, Kyle was on the track to a very successful future. Late one night, Kyle walked onto a different track and stepped out from a moving passenger train. There he took his life. Like Kyle, most college students feel immense pressure for academic success. An exceedingly more common alternative for students to meet the high expectations of deadlines and projects in school is to turn to Adderall. Let's explore the cognitive effects and dangerous consequences of Adderall, the prescription drug abuse on college and university campuses across the United States. So what is Adderall? Dextroamphetamine, also known as Adderall or Addy on college and university campuses, is a central nervous system stimulant. It is prescribed to treat attention deficit disorder, ADD, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Psychiatrist Dr. Ronald Rocker and Venus Nicolino state in their Huffington Post blog, Adderall, the most abused prescription drug in America, that Adderall is mostly abused by college students and young adults. Estimately 20 to 30% of college students regularly abuse Adderall. So why do students choose this drug? Cognitive effects of Adderall include the ability to concentrate on a single task for an extended period of time. With this ability, they have sustained energy to complete the assignment or study throughout the night. I conducted an informal survey of 20 undergraduate students from a wide range of higher education institutions. These schools range from FSU-PUF, Rutgers University, the State University of New York, and Georgia State University. I asked the students who admitted to using Adderall without a prescription what cognitive effects they experienced personally. Most students claimed the pill provided an assertion and drive to get tasks done. Without it, they said, they would not have the motivation or endurance to tackle large amounts of college-level reading and writing. A 21-year-old Georgia State University student told me, I'm able to focus without distraction. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I'm able to obtain more information. I seem to remember more. There was an obvious attitude amongst the students that I spoke with that Adderall is a college survival necessity. The students may or may not realize that this powerful drug could have backlash and detrimental consequences. Although this drug is an aid for prolonged studying, Adderall is a habit-forming amphetamine. According to Substance Abuse and Mental Services Administration, non-medical use of Adderall is of special interest to policymakers because it is an amphetamine. It is classified as having the highest potential for dependence or abuse. Commonly referred to as prescription speed, Adderall is the gateway or polydrug to other highly addictive methamphetamines such as cocaine or ecstasy. Abuse of amphetamines can lead to hazards in both cognitive and coronary health. When consuming any prescription drug, the list of side effects can sometimes be overwhelming for the patient. There are many side effects when taking Adderall. According to the Coalition Against Drug Abuse, physical side effects include nervousness, uncontrollable shaking, diarrhea, headache, and loss of appetite. Severe physical side effects include pounding or fast heartbeat, shortness of breath, weakness or numbness in arms or legs, paranoia, and blistering or peeling skin. Adderall also jeopardizes mental stability. Adderall abuse can hinder basic brain functions. It can trigger emotions of anger or rage, and it can cause episodes of hallucination and psychosis. College students who abuse Adderall for short-term victory could easily put their health at long-term risk. Regardless of the physical and mental consequences of Adderall, it is a prescription drug that is only legal when medicated by a doctor. Students who purchase or consume Adderall without a prescription are committing a felony. In 2010, 5 Columbia University fraternity brothers lost not only their opportunity for a top-notch education, but were arrested and charged with felony drug sales. During Operation Ivy League, these students were busted for illegally selling Adderall in the form of Altoid mints to university students. Adderall may appear to be a helpful, reliable study provision, but the dangerous consequences may outweigh its benefits. Now that we have discussed the cognitive effects and are aware of consequences of Adderall, I would like to talk about Kyle Craig one last time. Kyle's future was bright. just like the futures of every student sitting in this classroom. But its addition to Adderall was a catalyst to a deep, dark depression that no one predicted. A depression so painful that the only way to ease away the pain was to commit suicide. A single pill that is available on every single college campus corner across America cost a student his life. At this time, I'd like to open discussion and hear your opinion on the abuse of non-medicated Adderall in college and universities. Mike.
Well, as a poster child for ADHD, I used to take Adderall as a child, and I also can account for how some of the side effects it has. I used to have these permanent twitches like that even after I stopped taking it for a year. But do you think having some kind of a big open discussion about it in classes to discuss potentially meeting doctors and getting prescriptions for it if they need it, like almost raising awareness for it? Do you think that would be successful?
I would not raise awareness to go to your doctor to get Adderall in college because studies showed that you can only be prescribed with ADHD or ADD at the age of 3 or younger. So sitting in the classroom at this room full of 20-somethings, I feel like if we had ADHD, we would have known by now. I feel like raising awareness on the abuse of the drug in college settings would be very appropriate and helpful and could possibly save lives. But to have a discussion that would lead to action to go see your doctor, I don't think would be appropriate. Yes, ma'am.
On that note, I do have a friend that failed out of college her first year and went to a second college, and then at the age of 22, they're like, you have ADHD, and we could totally see it. Once she was medicated, suddenly she wasn't all over the place. Point is that sometimes it is helpful, but I do agree that that's a rare case. And my other friend was talking about going to the doctor and, oh, I have trouble studying, oh, I can't concentrate on anything. And I think that that might also be raising awareness of the symptoms is what can enable you to go to the doctor and say, these are the list of my problems, I need Adderall. On that note, the people that you said you interviewed that used Adderall illegally or without a prescription, would they have gone to the doctor and gotten one under like false pretenses, or did they just buy some from people that literally had Adderall?
All of the people that I interviewed would get it from roommates or friends. They said that would range from $5 to $45 a pill depending on the time of the semester. I do know someone, I did mention this in my paper because I wanted to keep it very concise and on track, but a friend of mine at UNF, she's a Zeta, first semester in her sorority, wanted to be a little skinny, went to her doctor, oh, I can't focus. 20 pounds later, she's great because she's not eating anything. So it can be under false pretenses, you can't go to the doctor and get Adderall. But I feel like most college students do just get it on campus. I read that the library, the cafeteria, the student union, like all of these general areas are very easy accesses to Adderall. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think with kind of the gaining popularity of Molly that people might not be taking Adderall as much when they go out?
I didn't really focus much on going out. I did read a lot, and I did read that there's extreme health risk when taking stimulants and depressants. So with Molly, perhaps for going out, since that is a stimulant, that would be a better choice, and I feel like Adderall might be less popular for going out. But when it comes to studying, all I'm aware is that Adderall is the #1 leading drug on college campuses to improve academic performance. Yes, ma'am.
So I had a friend freshman year that went to a doctor and just said, she like got a prescription for it. But I didn't get like a whole story of how, like, I was just wondering if you did research on like how doctors are how do they diagnose like ADHD? Like, is it like a test, or is it just people just saying like, oh, I can't focus? Like,
for children under the age of 3, there are tests that pediatricians can do to test their level of focus and concentration. In terms of adults or teenagers going to the doctor to get Adderall for ADHD or ADD, I believe it's much easier since you are not 3 years old and you can express with your words exactly what you're going through, how you feel. I believe it's very easy to obtain I have read in a few articles that colleges are now, if you don't have a prescription and you're caught taking Adderall during a test, it is cheating and you will be kicked out of your college or university. Westland College in Virginia in 2010 implemented that rule. It's a very sticky topic right now, and I stuck with college students, but I did read many articles about kids snorting Adderall before the SAT. So it's very popular. Yes, ma'am.
I know that you listed a lot of the side effects for the drug, but are students taking a normal dose of it when they're taking it to study, or are they taking what would be in excess of a prescribed amount?
I would say both. I did read that students would just take a pill, snort it, or inject it before a long night of projects. The girl that I talked to was a graphic design student. She's like, I always take a pill before a project. I get it done half the time. There have been cases of students overdosing on Adderall, and there have been cases of students killing themselves from being addicted to Adderall. So it depends just on the student and the circumstance. Yes, ma'am.
When you were doing research, did you come across anything? Because it's really easy to say, you shouldn't do this, this is wrong. But did you come across anything that was kind of introducing an alternative and a healthy alternative?
Yes.
Or suggestions?
This main suggestion that I kept reoccurring was I would think coffee would be just caffeine, another stimulant that maybe isn't as drastic, but the reduce of sugar and nutrition and dietetics is a very popular alternative to taking Adderall or a medication. It's amazing the things your body can do on its own when given proper nutrition and diet. Any other questions? Lots of questions. I saw Audrey's first.
Adderall seems to be this generation's drug of choice. Every generation has its drug of choice. Because when I was in undergraduate school, it was White Crosses. What is being done to address the root of the situation and the feeling that students need this to get done?
When I first started doing research for this project and for this speech, the reason that I kept coming back to for students taking Adderall is because we are students in a time of economic struggle, and there are X amount of jobs and way more amount of students for those jobs. So having a great GPA, being competitive in college, and being ready for the workforce after college would be the reason for taking it now in college. So you are ahead of your classmates when you are out, so you can earn that job. I'm not one to say that if there were so many jobs out there, people wouldn't be taking Adderall in college, but perhaps that would be a good reason why they are now. Last question.
Are there any, and forgive me if this hasn't been addressed, but have there been any kind of ways to crack down on Adderall abuse besides if you're caught with it during a final exam, you fail it? Is there anything else that they've been doing?
I don't know about they. I just know higher education is now cracking down on it and considering it cheating. They, in the broader scope of the United States government, will crack down on you if you have it without a prescription. I feel like that's a big reason itself why you shouldn't take it unless you're a college student and you want to be a felon when you get out of college. I feel like that's a very blunt and clear motivation to not take it. It is against the law if you don't have a prescription. So I think that's all of our questions. I would like to thank everyone for participating. I hope this discussion helped us explore together the effects of Adderall in college students and the abuse of Adderall in college and universities across the United States. I feel like this is a very relevant topic to all of us, since we all, I'm sure, know people who do take Adderall without a prescription. For some of us in this room have taken Adderall without a prescription, and I hope from this discussion together, we were all had an open mind and learned something new about Adderall. Thank you.